What's up, everyone? And today I am bringing a deck profile on my ABCs. Now every month I let you guys pick a deck profile that I'm going to do on this channel. Whichever deck has the most wins, I'll do a deck profile on, or even some of them that don't win, I'll do a deck profile on. And for last month, there was a vote for ABC, although I was already planning to do an ABC deck profile anyway, so that's not counting towards the vote. But ABC is a deck that I've always liked. Well, not always. Not always is pretty much like 1 month before Master Rule 5. Is it 1 month? More like 2 months. This was a deck I've been interested in building for a while, and I finally finished getting the core of it at YCS Las Vegas, and I actually competed in a side event there and did pretty well with it, although I lost to Necros. And this was the deck I was really hyped for going into Master Rule 5. I'm like, this is going to be my Master Rule 5 deck. Then it got limited. I'm just like, way to kill my excitement. But thankfully, Konami's admitting their mistake, and they brought ABC Dragon Buster from limited to 2. And on the next list, it's most likely just going to go to 3. Same with Totally Awesome. So I'm really excited. And without further ado, let's get right into this deck profile. First off, I run 3 Assault Core, as well as 3 B Buster Drake, and 3 Sea Crush Wyvern. This is you want to maximize 3 on this. Like, I've seen some deck profiles where they do like maybe 3 Buster, 2 Core, and 2 Wyvern. I don't do that, mainly because you want to get it in the grave. And I have several tools to get that into the grave, but if I don't see them in my opening hand, it's much harder to get them into the grave to actually get Dragon Buster on the field. Now, all these cards have a card to where, like, once per turn, you can either target a Light Machine monster, equip it to, or unequip it. That, I don't really care about, but for secondary effect, which isn't even a soft once per turn, when these cards are sent to the grave, they have additional effects. As far as core, you can add 1 unit monster from your graveyard to your hand. Drake, you add 1 from your deck to your hand. And Wyvern, you special summon 1 from your hand. So they're really good at getting out other union monsters. Like, let's say you have Drake and Wyvern on the field, for example. Link both of them away. Then you do a Chain Link 1 and Chain Link 2. You add let's say core off of Drake, then you can special summon core off of Wyvern. So they really kind of bounce into each other really well. I run the 2 Gold Gadget and the 2 Silver Gadget. These cards are good for starting up your boards and plays. For example, if you have, let's say, a Gold Gadget in hand and a Sea Crush, you can normal gold, and the special Sea Crush off of gold's effect. Same thing with silver, because both of them have effect when they are normal or special summoned. You can special summon 1 level 4 machine monster from your hand. And they also have a secondary effect. If these cards are destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 gadget monster from your deck. But you mainly want it for the special summon of a level 4 machine monster. Next, I run 3 Symphonic Warrior Guitar and 1 Symphonic Warrior Mics. This is essentially a play for an extra summon. When you set Symphonic Warrior Guitar, when you activate Symphonic Warrior Guitar as a skill, its pendulum effect is discard 1 card, special summon 1 Symphonic Warrior monster from your deck. So you use Guitar to summon Mics, and when Mics is summoned, it gives you an extra normal summon. I also play 2 Galaxy Soldier. Originally I did have this at 3, but I dropped it down for another card. And unfortunately I only have the 1 Galaxy Soldier. I tried to get 2, but they're like $10. And that's for the cheapest print. Moving on to the spells. First one's pretty obvious. I run 3 Union Hanger. I think this card was on the ban list at one point. I don't know. When Union Hanger is activated, you can add 1 Light Machine Union monster from your deck to your hand, aka ABC. And once per turn, if the Light Machine monster is summoned, you can target 1 of those monsters, attach a Machine Union monster from your deck to that monster. Next, I run 3 Unauthorized Reactivation. Well, I didn't get the the Machina structure deck or something like that. It did have some good machine support. For example, Reactivation. With Reactivation, you can target 1 machine monster you control, equip 1 appropriate machine unit monster from your hand or deck to that monster. While sadly you can only activate 1 of these per turn, it really helps kind of in the same way as Union Carry to get those ABCs onto the field or grave. Now next, I run a lot of extenders. I run 3 Magnet Reverse. With this, target 1 of your machine or rock monsters that is banished or in the graveyard that can be normal summoned, special summon it. So you can use that to bring back an ABC to maybe go into a link play or a gold gadget, because gold and silver gadget both can summon both summon a level 4 monster when they're summoned from just when they're summoned. So this is really good for extending the same way as World Legacy Succession and Monster Reborn. Yeah, these 6 cards right here really help for link climbing and getting into like a Appaloosa, IP Masquerena. Because unfortunately, Dragon Buster, as powerful as it is, just isn't enough on itself. Next, I also run 2 Pot of Avarice. I only run 2 because, like, first turn you may not be able to use this. Like, you're not always going to have 5 monsters in the grave because you do special summon a lot of times. But when you do, it's good to get those cards back into your hand and get some draw power. I was thinking Desires, but honestly, if I can run Pot of Avarice over Desires, I will. Because I remember one time I was running Desires, I activated it in this deck, and I banished 3 Drakes. Yeah, that'll just kill your deck flat out. I also run 1 Monster Reincarnation. Now, I know a lot of people are like, why are you running Monster Reincarnation? This was a card I added when Dragon Buster got limited. Because with Monster Reincarnation, you discard 1 card, target 1 monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Or in the case of extra deck monsters, they go back into your extra deck. So it's I mainly use it to kind of help recycle Dragon Buster, or if I just need to get a card from my hand to the grave, which sometimes does end up happening. Like sometimes I'll get stuck with, let's say, a core in the hand or something like that, and this really helps with that. Originally, I had this at 3. Now that we have 2 Dragon Buster, it's not as important, and let's say we go back to 3 Dragon Buster, you can just take this out completely. Next, I run 1 Foolish Burial for obvious reasons. You want your ABCs in the grave. 1 Card Destruction, same reason as Foolish Burial. 1 Cult by Grave, sadly, I wish I could be running 3. 1 Double or Nothing because you run Utopia Double. And 1 Upstart Goblin. Now moving on to the extra deck. I run 2 ABC Dragon Buster. Let me zoom in on those boys. I love this card. Well, I wouldn't say it's exactly a really powerful card. It's powerful, but you know, there's more powerful cards out there. And I also just want to point out, this looks nice and secret. So Dragon Buster, it has an effect that it can be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards, aka 1 Assault Core, 1 Buster Drake, and 1 Crush Wyvern. And it has effect once per turn. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 card on the field, banish it, and during your opponent's turn, you contribute this card, then target 3 of your banished Slight Machine Union monsters with different names, special them. So essentially, you banish A, B, and C in order to summon Dragon Buster, then on your opponent's turn, after you use the banishing effect, you contribute it to summon all 3 of them. And of course, if your opponent destroys them by battle, they get effects. It also helps with link climbing into stuff like Appaloosa and Boral Sword. That's why we really need 3 Dragon Buster, because then it really limits you on how many times you can use Dragon Buster's effect, because Dragon Buster is a card that's not meant to stay on the field and just continuously disrupt your opponent. No, it helps with the link climbing into bigger stuff. Like, let's say they limited Union Hanger, for example. That would have been a much better hit over Dragon Buster, because if you, say, ban or limit Dragon Buster, that kills the deck. Limiting or banning Union Hanger doesn't kill the deck, it just makes things more difficult. But the less Dragon Busters we have, the weaker this deck is. But having 2 really helps out this deck, because you can definitely do a lot more in. You can win with 2, but with 1, yeah, it wasn't even a good deck with just 1 Dragon Buster. I spent a lot of time talking about Dragon Buster. Next, I run 1 Union Carrier. Now, this is responsible for a degenerate play with another card named Dragon Buster, but a different Dragon Buster. A Dragon Buster that should have been banned on the last list, but it is what it is. But this really helps out in the same ways as Union Hanger and Unauthorized Reactivation to equip Machine Union monsters from your deck to a Union monster. I also run the 1 Platinum Gadget. I'd say out of all the links, that's probably the one I go into the least. Next, I run 1 Cross Sheep, really good with fusions. When a fusion monster is summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower from your graveyard. Really good for extending. I run 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Unicorn. Also run 1 Bulbasaur Dragon and 1 Apollousa. Finally have Apollousa. I also run 1 Utopia and 1 Utopia Double, as well as 1 number 62 Gyarados, the Timeless. And the last card you can replace with a lot of different things. Like if I have when Dragon Buster comes back to 3, it's probably the card I'm going to get rid of, and that is 1 Gigant X. Don't know if I pronounced that right. This is definitely the weaker out of all the extra deck cards, because it's like a Platinum Gadget, but it's weaker than Platinum Gadget, mainly because when you use Platinum Gadget, that still triggers off the effects of A, B, and C. This one doesn't. But if you really need it, you can do that, or you can just say swap it in for Abyss Dweller or something like that if you want to. This one's really changeable, but I'd say the rest of it is definitely what you do want to run. That's going to be all for this deck profile. I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.